Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our quick publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to a special Anfield Index news round, actually. We're not going to do a Pro Plus. 1 minute, let me just open that can of beer because we're celebrating. We're celebrating Darwin Núñez. Finally, Liverpool announcing Darwin Núñez as Núñez. How do you want to say it? Núñez? I don't know. I've heard it say Núñez. I've done too many pods now. But anyway, he's now a Liverpool player, subject to international clearance and work permit. We need to say that because you never know. Yes, the medical's all done. Everything is now signed. He is now a Red. And we're doing a special fan pod where on Discord we have some Liverpool fans who want to join. Come on and, celebrate with us. Celebrate a massive signing. Liverpool's record signing, 100 million euros, 85 million pounds. It's 64 million pounds up front, 75 million euros, and then the rest in add-ons. That is unbelievable. We're joined first by my Paris buddy, Cal. How you doing, Cal?
I'm good, boss man. I'm good. How's yourself?
Oh, good, man. Much better than Paris. Let's put it that way. How that ended. This is a good day. This is a good day.
Oh yeah, definitely is. So Paris was legendary though. Like the couple of days beforehand were just next level. Like
we had a great time, didn't we?
I think we've all had a bit of time to reflect. Obviously, I think we're all a bit down for different reasons coming back. I think we all have had struggles. Obviously, the Discord group in general has been excellent. The mental side of things as well has been really supportive for everyone. We've all sort of had our little struggles, and I think we all knew people that were affected, and I think that was the hardest thing, and then seeing the fans get the blame. We're not here to talk about the downer stuff. We're out to talk about Darwin Day, as the report put it.
The evolution begins. How do you feel then, mate, with this signing? I mean, it's been about, a month or so maybe 6 weeks or so in the Discord group where we've been kind of like wondering who's going to sign this summer. The kind of transfer chat in there has been going for about 6-7 weeks now, and everyone's been really excited about wondering what's going to happen. How are we going to change the team? And this is obviously a replacement of Mane, isn't it, Cal? But it's a completely different player.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, I think when Mane does go, and I think he is going to go, he goes with obviously all our best wishes. I mean, and then you got the other side of hopefully Salah signs. I love that man. I'd run through brick walls for that man. So hopefully he's tempted to say as well. But like with Darwin, obviously we've only seen a bit of the YouTube stuff and obviously what he's done in the Champions League against us. But it looks like he can play coming in from the left or he can play down the middle. I think he just gives us so many options. And just started with the UP boys, and as Brundish was saying, he's a big lad, he's a big boy, and I think obviously we've had Origi for a while, and Origi does the job, but he always looks like he's surprised he's a footballer, whereas I think Darwin is. I think
that's a great one. He's surprised he's a footballer. Yeah, he's just a dancer, man. He's just a chiller, isn't he?
He loves the game. I've never seen a man so laid back, scoring a Champions League winner.
Mate, all the behind the scenes stuff with Origi, even when they make him dance, he's like laid back dancing as well. It's like proper. He's chilled out completely, but I think this boy is going to be physical. In everything I've heard so far, the main attributes from him, nobody talks about his skill, nobody talks about his finishing. They say pace and power and never give up. Like literally the guy's a machine, apparently, a cyborg, runner, destroyer, and just will not stop. I think he's going to be loved by the Anfield faithful because they love a trier, more than anything. They love someone who's going to just keep running.
I mean, the last Uruguayan didn't do too bad, and obviously it's been a while since we've had sort of a Torres-esque player, the one that just throws his arse about, elbows out, doesn't care, head down, and just scores a goal. And I think physically wise, I know Torres was a little bit of a how do you put it, a bit of a skinny lad when he came in, but he did wear obviously the baggiest of baggy kits I think I can ever remember any of our players wearing. So yeah, it's got a little bit of physicality about him, and hopefully shows up that Haaland, who I think interviews like a child, is the best way to put it.
We're really going after Haaland, aren't we? I think Haaland's going to be amazing for Man City. It's hard. It's a shame that he's gone there and it's going to make things harder, but it means they have to change as well, like us. They may be they may be evolving themselves. So I don't know, but from our point of view, a lot of the fans have always been saying we need something different. We need something different up top. We need something different. But he's going to bring the pace and the power. And Cal, everyone's really excited. I agree. It's going to be something different and great.
Yeah, honestly, I can't think of any more words, to be honest. And obviously, we had the choo-choo train that derailed sort of the last minute, sort of played us like a fiddle. So it's good to have this one over the line and have somebody in it, and hopefully Mr. Ward has another magic trick up his pocket, and hopefully can get something in the midfield to help supply Mr. Nunes and give us loads of options. But I think the key thing here is options. Obviously, we've had deep front three, and we've seen it start to evolve over the last couple of seasons, more so this season than the other. And I think it's going to evolve again. And the only way to maintain being at the top is to be unpredictable. And I think Klopp certainly has made sure of that, along with the recruitment team, sports science, everything that goes behind it. We're just a symphony, we're an orchestra. Everything works as one, and there's no one thing you can put it on. It's just excellent recruitment, and everyone buys in. I don't know if you lot have had the opportunity to have a look at his interview. He's very much like, I want to score goals, but I want to help the team, and helping the team seemed to be his key factor. And I think that's a very similar thing with all of our boys. As much as like Mo loves to score a goal and fans like to give him their selfish reputation. I mean, one of my mates' favourite sayings is the numbers don't lie, and the numbers don't lie. Like, you can see how selfless Mo is at times, and I think Darwin's going to be the same. So yeah, I'm very excited. Just get through this awful time where there's no proper football on, and get us back to the new season. Hopefully all the boys refreshed and ready to go. And I think the way the World Cup falls this season actually suits us more than any other quote unquote top team. So wait and see.
You talk about the World Cup, and apparently this guy will start all the games for Uruguay, at least the guests we've had on think he may. And it's a good time to buy him, because if he explodes at the World Cup, the fee goes to 150 is what they were saying on the Benfica pod especially. So, you know what, you might think 75 million up front, or, the initial fee is bad, but imagine if it's up to 150, then what's going to happen? So this is what happens with some players, and he's only 22. So much to do, so much to bring. And we're going to bring in our next speaker, Liverpool fan extraordinaire, Lisa Marie. How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm fine, Gags. How are you?
I'm very happy.
Having Darwin Day.
Darwin Day, evolving day. We're all evolving. The team's evolving. What are your thoughts? Come on, hit us with something.
And to kind of keep with that sort of theme, if you will, I feel like this is sort of my next level as a Liverpool fan in my own personal evolution. This is kind of the first player I have followed along with, the scouting pods and everything, where, Dave and Carl and whomever have been talking about him as a target, as a possibility for us, and then seeing him, play against us in the Champions League. And so I think I'm a little extra excited because I actually know who we're talking about. Because, yeah. I mean, so that's just, it's just kind of the next level. I mean, yeah, I've, as you know, been in the Discord group and just kind of commenting and chatting on things here in the last week or so as he has been part of the discussion. And so, yeah, it feels like it's part of my own personal fan evolution as well. But no, I'm just excited for, somebody new coming into the team. I mean, we've all talked, one of the, I think, most exciting things this past season for us was the fact that we had some depth and we had some options to switch things up. And so this is just more of that for us. And, he just looks like he's an exciting player. He's young. He's, he does. I caught his little interview where, he wants to score for us. He wants to be part of the team. And it's just exciting. It's just exciting.
Yeah, he called the other strikers monsters. He goes, it's great to be with these monsters. It's like, wow. It's one of his quotes, but it's just, that's amazing. When these things get translated, they turn out to be so class, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to Triple D, to be honest. I'm looking for Diaz, Diogo, and Darwin to start together. It's going to be pretty smart, that as well. So we got loads of options now, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and that's, I mentioned this, I think actually when I was talking to Nina the other day on the, review pod, was I felt like wonderful as our front three, our traditional front three had been, Mane, Salah, Firmino, that had just gotten a little bit predictable. And I mean, so I think that was one of the exciting things for us the latter half of this season was having Diaz to bring in, Jota and we just these kind of different options. And so even with Mane leaving, and, I do hate to see him go, but completely understand if, that's what he wants. That's great. But, bringing Darwin Núñez in just, again, gives us different options. And our opponents may not necessarily know exactly what we're planning to do, especially right at first.
Yeah, I really love that point because I think you're right. I think things, when you say why they slow down a little bit, maybe Salah, Mane, everybody kind of knows what runs they're going to make, how they're going to link up. It gets harder to play for us to play against teams because they kind of, these guys have been doing it for 5 years. You do end up having those patterns, understanding those patterns, being able to predict what's going to happen next. And if you've got new players to play with and you've got someone like Darwin up top and a Mo playing off of him instead, imagine, having the option where Mo's running, we're on the halfway line off of a goal kick, for example, say, and Darwin jumps for one, flicks it on and Mo's in straight. We don't do that. We don't have that option now. We've never done it. These little things open up. You can train, you can do so many things to play in a different way with flick-ons and things like that. And now, in the air, that could be an option if he's jumping up and he's flicking on even near the box. And it's a different size. Yeah, and normally we do play very high into the box because we sometimes miss-hit shit. So if there's a guy who can jump and maybe direct it a little bit towards, as an angle, just little things happen, right? Changes. There's so many different aspects to football, to the game, and this is one of them where we just didn't have this option. We just didn't have this in our team, and now, never know, things could happen. And when we start watching the game next year, and we start watching him in the team, and these things start happening, we'll all be like, yeah, we couldn't do that before.
And not only that is that our players that we do have don't necessarily have to play in the same position on the field, too. That can mix it up and make it keep our opponents guessing a little bit too. So it's just exciting. It's just all so exciting. And I'm ready. I think I saw someone saying it in the chat a little bit ago. It's like, let's play Sunday, So, ready to go. Enough of this break stuff. Let's move on.
Let's play football, please. Let's get him on the pitch and watch him play. That's what we want now. That's it. It's the way it is. It's just the excitement of a new player, isn't it? I mean, it's massive, and especially when you've been waiting 3 days. He's in Liverpool, and there's a medical going on. You're all worried, and people were so shitting themselves, should I say? But it was always going to be okay.
Oh, that's
when Paul Joyce is tweeting about things, it's going to be all right. It's just precautionary,
It's the pros and cons of our social media existence that we're all now. We get more information, but more information makes us impatient. So, It's the curse, I guess, that we have to bear a little bit in being able to have access to all the information that we do now. But and I think I said it to you, actually, something you said. I said, you know what, I enjoy following it and knowing that these possibilities are out there, but until I see them, standing there in their the Liverpool shirt, we all know anything can happen. So
anything can happen. That's
it
brilliant.
has. So that's what's
it
exciting.
has. Maybe there's more to come. We don't know, but let's excite people. We don't
That's
know.
the other thing. Is everyone who's all like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "It's June the 14th, people. Calm down."
I love it in that American accent. Tell them to calm down. Love it.
Or you want me to do my robot? Do you want the robot voice?
Go on then.
June the 14th, people. Calm down.
I didn't see the robot, but it's okay.
I know. I was a little too excited for it. I'm out of practice with it. We haven't recorded the main pod here in a few weeks. I'm a little out of practice, so I'll have to.
Yeah, we do need
I'll
to
work
do.
on my delivery.
Yeah. Get on, Trev. We need to get that main pod going. Everybody misses Trev. Transfers going on. No, Trev. How can that be? How can it be? Anyway,
I think we'll pull it together for later this week, so we'll have something. We'll have even more fantastic things to talk about. So it'll be.
Oh my God, Camilad's going to be on then. That's terrible. Just tell him to stay away from the Coke and the milk.
Oh,
this
good
is
Lord.
Yeah,
yes.
Very true. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lisa. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a good evening.
And you. Right then, we're going to the fire starter of Anfield Index Discord, Mr. JC Tyrone. He's tyrannic, all right. How you doing, JC?
All right, Gags. Can you hear me okay?
Doing, mate? I can hear you fine, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I got my new toy, Gags. I got my new toy. I'm happy.
Yes, we've had a few run-ins on the Discord, and he wanted his new toy, and here it is, Darwin Nunez. How you feeling, mate?
No, I'm super pumped about this kid. He looks like the real deal, and just with Jurgen Klopp and the way he takes care of players, and it's the only way is up for this kid, I think, and we're going to be very lucky to have him, I think.
You know what? That's another good point. You've all made separate points, which is what I love about the AI listeners, and you're all supporters of AI, obviously, and Liverpool. Is that's the one thing where if anyone's got any negative things to say about this kid, the fact is he's going to be now managed by Jurgen Klopp, and we've seen, people were doubting Mane, people were doubting Salah when they joined. What happened to them? It went nuts. And I think with this kid now, they've spent the money for a reason, JC. They spent the money for a reason. They see something, they're going to do something with him, and it's just so exciting when you got that, commitment from the club. Right, we're spending 100 million. What? We've never done that before.
No, I know. Just watching the highlight reel from against us in the Champions League, you can just tell Klopp seen something just even in those two games. And, once he sees something like that, he's going to make it happen, So I'm so glad we got him.
Me too. I mean, I did say, and if you haven't listened to the other two pods with Cristiano and Alvaro, one Uruguayan fan and one Benfica podcast from the Benfica podcast. On the Benfica podcast, I did say maybe he's Klopp's next Lewandowski. And he goes, no. I didn't mean that he's going to be an exact carbon copy of Lewandowski. I didn't want to say too much on the show. I wanted him to talk. But what I meant was that the next kind of evolution of a player. So, for example, himself, great. We're going to keep using evolution, aren't we, with his name? And that's remember when you started this, JC, and and it was going over my head. I was like, what the hell is everyone going on? It was like, what? But basically, what was I saying? Yes. I meant the kind of trajectory Lewandowski went on from what he was to where he went to was under Klopp, right? And so
he was basically going to, and then he didn't get there, and then Klopp got him, right?
Absolutely. And I'm thinking something similar is going to happen here. It could go absolutely crazy. So, yeah, I mean, the one thing as well, just I don't know if you've listened to Under Pressure yet, but Simon Brundish mentioned that, the coaches at Benfica said to him that Darwin Nunez was a rapid Gabriel Batistuta. I mean,
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, that excites you, right? That is just like, what the hell is going on here? So yeah, I mean, from my point of view, if he's even 25% of Gabriel Batistuta, we are going to be in for a ride, an absolute ride, because that guy is one of the best you've ever going to see, you know?
Yeah.
So,
The Uruguayans have a reputation of being hard workers too, you know. They respect their history. And remember the guy saying they respect their country's footballing history. I'm sure he's going to appreciate the way Liverpool respect their history, you know. It's all positives, you know.
it is all positive. That's another good point. He's going to be a real hard worker. And what did we wanted someone to replace, you know, Bobby as a 9 who worked as hard as Bob. You know, we always said, shit, are we going to get someone who's going to actually work as hard as him? But when you listen to all the shows and the pods and all the people speak about this kid, he's going to probably be top presser by a couple of years' time once he learns the system and learns how to play the Klopp way and the Liverpool way. Now, this is the new Liverpool way, sorry, not the old one. Yeah, but this Liverpool way, I mean, the sky's the limit. There's a high ceiling, I think, JC, massive high ceiling.
Yeah, I'm psyched for the him and Haaland going head to head now in the Premiership next season. As Sky News was doing all the hype already the last couple of days, you know, and it's just great for the Premiership too, you know, to get 2 world class strikers like that, and you know, we're in for a good ride.
Yeah, we're in for a good. And on that note, it's funny how Darwin's add-ons are added, but all the add-ons for Haaland are left off.
Well, the fees don't usually get included in transfers, you know. Sky usually leaves it.
Oh, we lost you there, mate.
Well, the Sky usually leaves the dad fees out, the 20 or 30 million dad fees that the city paid.
Dad fees. That's it. There's a new fee, the dad fee. The agent's fees, the dad fees. They left literally everything off. They left Haaland's fees. He took like 20 million to join himself. They took it out of the contract. It was like, here's 20 million, join. Then we'll give you 500k on top. It's like, what the fuck? But anyway, we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about Darwin. So, okay. Anything else from you, JC?
No, that's it. Gags, just want to shout out thanks for all the work you're doing in that VIP transfer Discord channel. Anybody that's not involved, get in there, get a subscription. It's well worth it. Keeps reactionary fans like myself kind of grounded, not totally grounded, but your work is fantastic, brother. Thanks very much.
That's so kind, JC. Thanks a lot, man, and appreciate your humour now a lot more that we got to get to know you. You know, at the start, didn't understand it, but now we do, and that's what it's all about. You know, Discord, the community is about getting to know each other, and like JC said, if you're not on Anfield Index Discord, it's anfieldindex.com/Discord. Thank you so much, JC, for the kind words, and for the kind words for the community as well. We appreciate it. Love you, brother. We have one more person, but he's putting his baby to sleep and he really wants to jump on, but he can't. So it looks like I'm going solo for a bit unless Eddie can jump in with the sound in the background. I don't know, Eddie. You're going to brave it. You're going to brave it. You're going to leave me hanging here. He's going to leave me hanging, I know. Okay, it's okay. But what else can we talk about in terms of Darwin? So he's here. There you go.
I don't know how noisy it'll get.
It's not noisy at all. It's fine. We can, mate. It's live podcasting. It's okay if there's people working.
I've no headphones on. I've no microphone. I'm literally speaking to a Mac, which is very unprofessional of me. But
you sound good. It's Discord doing its magic and the sound. It does all this extra work, dude. It's awesome. What's your thoughts, man? Come on. We've been tracking this transfer. We've been doing detective work from April the 26th. Someone tells me is from when we were in.
Well, we got our first inkling of this on March the 12th, which was quite incredible.
Yes.
Before we even drew Benfica in the Champions League, we had this. It was the day before they were playing.
Was Ajax. It March?
Yeah, March. We got the first inkling that Liverpool was seriously interested in the player, and he was being watched in Ajax in their round of 16 Champions League game. So that was.
That's why he was in my head then. I forgot about that bit.
And obviously, you do get a few tenuous ones around March time as well. So it was one of those. And I remember saying to Dave, and he said, "Oh, it'd be very interesting to see if we went for a genuine number 9, to see if it meant a shape change, and it's something we should be looking at." And really, I never thought anything more of it. Until and it's interesting listening to some of the podcasts. Obviously, the real standout one for me was Cristiano telling you that don't expect him to play a 9. players are nine. So it's like that one's now in my head of what are we really getting here? I'm a bit lost, but time will tell.
Yeah, time's going to look. At the end of the day, Klopp will know what he's doing, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays him. I can't see us buying another left winger. I just can't.
No,
I'm
the same.
You know, Jota out there, you got Diaz out there. There's no way that he's going to be competing with us.
The jury's out on that. But it's one of those that's like you say, it's been one of the most interesting transfers to follow, this one for us, with the information that we are able to get from people from time to time, because the pieces of this jigsaw kind of came together very, very quickly. And I mean, you said, I saw you posted something on the VIP transfer chat the other day that you always thought when we were following the sort of money trail that it was Nunes, but I remember
I said to you, this is Darwin, and you said, look, we got no names, don't say it's Darwin.
We knew there was some money moving around and stuff, so but we weren't sure what it was for and where it was going. We just knew that Portugal was involved. You thought it was 2 players at one point, and then it got a little top up, and we thought, oh, what's going on here? And then the numbers involved started looking more and more like it was going to be a big one. And after the Tchouaméni nonsense, we were all hopeful that this was the one, and hopefully, well, it's come to pass. So we've got to be pretty pleased with that. And like you were just saying there to Lisa Marie, it's Liverpool really going balls out for this. You know what I mean? This is a massive statement. You look at how far Liverpool
Julian Ward FC, come on. Sorry.
Liverpool and City were so far ahead of everyone else in the league last year, and they're the only two that have really strengthened so far in a big way. So how demoralising must that be for Spurs fans, for Chelsea fans, for United fans when they're seeing what Liverpool...
United fans are calling him shit. Simple. They were after him and they were desperate for him, and all of a sudden he's shit now.
That's normal.
Yeah, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love pissing on them. That's the.
But no, it's as I mean, we've said we've had. There's only so much we can share, obviously, and it's a little bit tricky at times for us. But we were saying to each other the other night that it's actually quite incredible how much in advance we've been even of some of the names that people associate with being the sort of transfer insiders. Some of the info we've had on this has been truly staggering. You always take it with a pinch of salt because you don't know how true it is. But then these things sort of materialize.
This summer's been everything spot on, like everything, everything. But a really good question. Really good question for you.
Keeping these things in house, but obviously this one. These things have got out for a reason, you know what I mean? Liverpool, I think I was saying to you again the other night that there's perhaps a bit of a transfer strategy shift here where with Ward taking over from Edwards and maybe embracing the media, embracing social media and letting little bits of things slip out is part of their strategy of maybe saving a few million on a player or saving something on a clause or something along those lines, you know what I mean? There's a reason that these things slip out, and whilst we always go back to the old Liverpool way of never washing your dirty linen in public and making sure everything stays behind closed doors, I do wonder in the modern age whether that strategy is 100% foolproof. And I mean, there's never been another one quite like Fabinho, which no one saw coming. And I think it was Adam Petruccioni with the plane tracking that kind of gave us an inkling that something was going on there. But this one seems more old school. It's very strange to kind of have a granular set of breadcrumbs that have gone from March to the middle of June, and that's one of the real strange ones. And I mean, it has been really good to hear little bits over the past few days about the player from the people in Uruguay, from the people in Portugal, just to kind of get more of an insight into the player. Because truth be told, I've not seen a lot of Darwin Núñez outside the games he's played against us and the YouTube reels. And I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans will be in that boat as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he hits the ground.
It will be amazing to see. And it's great that it's done in time for pre-season, because that's really important to get that connection with your teammates in pre-season, with all of them. I think when players join just before the season starts, it gets hard because literally the team's decided that. At that point, you're trying to fight your way in, aren't you? But at this stage, it's always a good transfer when it's done so early. A good question here from Arman for you: have we actually strengthened? I suppose we have at the moment, but are we expecting Nunes to be an actual upgrade on Mane? Because he goes, I haven't seen him nearly enough to say that, and obviously, no, it can't be said that it's an upgrade.
I think Gags, it's an upgrade as a number 9, as well as Mane did.
Ah, right, okay. Gotcha.
As well as Mane did in that number 9 position. I think we can say that Nunes is an upgrade as a number 9, not just in terms of finishing, but probably in hold-up play, probably in pace now, which is hard to believe I'm saying that about Sadio Mane, who's an absolute rocket. But
he has lost some pace, though.
The what,
Sadio.
sorry?
He has lost some pace, though, Sadio.
Yeah, he's lost a yard. There's no two ways about it. And his finishing... I mean, the outliers, the finish against City in the FA Cup semi-final, but the finishing was very much poacher-based rather than the sort of usual sort of Sadio Mane finishes we'd seen coming in from the left. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, a goal's a goal. But I just think that as a number 9, if he is going to be a number 9, which we think he is, then there's going to be a bit of an upgrade there as a number 9, because it's not a position that's not a natural position to Mane, and ironically, he may go on and play that in Germany when he moves on. So it's gonna. I certainly think we've upgraded. I'd prefer Darwin Núñez as a number 9 to Sadio Mane or anyone else in the Liverpool squad for that matter.
Yeah, I think when you add it is a strengthening when you think about Diaz and Mane, because I think that's more comparable. Do you get what I mean? We added Diaz in. People are forgetting it's kind of, he was probably an early replacement for Mane already. We kind of then shifted Mane in because we had him at that point. It's it's not. I think what we need to remember is Diaz was kind of probably something brought in early. Then it was supposed to be the summer, but brought in a bit earlier, and that you would have probably seen more of an evolution. It's a Darwin pod, got to keep saying it. In the summer, if Diaz had come now with Darwin, for example, then you'd be saying, right, now this is a proper refresh. It's actually better the way it has happened, because Diaz gets 5 months with the team, gets into the groove of winning things. As a team, when you win things, you get together, you get closer, you become tighter. Look at him, look at his bond with the likes of Elliott and Curtis Jones. It's so good to see.
There's a lot to be said for January transfers. I know the markets are never the best market, and you never really feel you get great value, but there's a lot to be said for that bidding-in period. And I do think once Klopp gets to work on some of the newer nuances with Luis Diaz in the summer and pre-season, he's got proper pre-season behind him, I think we're going to see him go to another level as well. And at the moment, I think it's very much been, because they've not really had training time, it's just reconditioning, recovery, match to match, quick opposition analysis, and then off you go again. It was so relentless, game. There's never really been a chance for Klopp and the coaching team to work with Núñez on anything yet. So all we're almost seeing is the player literally plug and play. He's been taken from Porto and plugged into Liverpool's left side, and on you go. A lot of freedom in what he's done so far. But once he becomes a greater part of the tactical plan, and Klopp really gets inside this player's head, I think we're going to see Diaz go on to a whole nother level, and we'll have that bidding-in period to come now with Darwin, because he's obviously joining for pre-season, but he will only be involved for his first Liverpool games as the season starts, and I think that's why we're going to see Luis Diaz in particular go to a whole new level very quickly, whereas it may take, and we've been used to this with Fabinho, Robertson, Keita, other players that have been brought in, that there is a bidding-in period within a Jurgen Klopp side, and there's no guarantees that we're going to throw Núñez right in from the start. Match 1, number 9, new formation, new shape. Just don't see it. I think that's going to take time, and the fact that we've got the 5 subs thing allows Klopp to experiment more with that. When perhaps some games are almost won on 60 or 70 already, we might see a slow adaptation to that new shape, to that new formation.
I think that's really interesting point. So I think to answer Arman, I think the Sadio Mane replacement actually came 5 months earlier in Diaz. That's not, that's an addition. It was an addition to what we had. It was a good to have. That wasn't set. I know you've made that the baseline. It's not. The baseline was without one of those guys, one of those guys going, and it's the left side. That's where Mane preferred to play. That's where Diaz is going, So that's the number 1 choice there. This is basically a year early Bobby's successor for me. they're doing it in that way. It's happening nicely. So, next year we'll probably get someone else, right winger, and slowly he'll keep going. And Jota's going to be that guy there that can play all those positions and just slot in wherever he wants, like he slots in goals, Jota the slotter. So, I think it's, the evolution's going. It's working. I think, yes, when you think about it with Diaz, it's definitely strengthened from last summer. It's a strengthening. There's 2 extra players and Amane gone. How's that? I think that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, not that we'd want to get rid of Mane. Let's be honest. If the threatening way that Liverpool are saying or reportedly saying to Bayern now, fine. If you don't want to pay, we'll keep Mane. Flipping heck. I mean, right? That's awesome. Keep Mane as well. Jesus. Then that's an embarrassment of riches at that point, which I can't see happening. Let's be honest. But if that was in some crazy dystopian land to happen. Yeah, you're embarrassed with so many signings. Mane can go and play on the right now instead.
We've just seen, Gags. I think we've just seen the advantage of having that extra depth that we've just seen for the last, when we went into sort of supercharge mode from the end of AFCON right through to the end of the season, where you could see the fatigue starting to kick in. Yeah. The extra depth that we had in the squad with the introduction of Luis Diaz, with the fact that we can bring people like Diogo Jota on from the bench, or Diaz from time to time, or even Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, the fact that you can bring these guys on, the squad depth for that, and having the 5 subs, which we're about to have, is massive. And that's why it's a show about Nunes, but and I'm not meaning to come across as a spoiled child, but I think that's why we're also desperate for the club to go and do an elite level midfielder as well, because we want to have this depth.
We all do. We all do. But then again, the 5 subs is what will help the current midfielders be able to save their legs. So if we're up 2-3-0, Fab can come off after 60 now.
Absolutely, yeah. And we have to find games for these guys as well. You know what I mean? It's not like you can. It's not like you can't give. If the likes of Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho, if these guys are going to stay around the squad rather than be loaned out, then you have to give them minutes.
It'd be so funny if Fabio Carvalho ends up getting like 15 goals and 15 assists this year, and he was the one that nobody saw coming, and it's just like, wow. Anyway, we thought we'd just so hyping for another signing. But Eddie, thank you so much. We got Steve waiting as well now. Our last caller. Appreciate that, Eddie. No sound came through, by the way. Of any work. Oh, okay, fair enough. There you go.
As you know, I've had the conservatory roof changed, so now I can actually podcast from inside the house without having to go into my garden office, which means I have a proper roof where you don't hear rain anymore. So it rains a hell of a lot in Scotland.
Hey, just tell it to stop. You're the king. Anyway, we'll move on. Stephen, how you doing, my friend?
I am so excited.
I can tell.
Alright, excited. I mean, we've been chatting about him on WhatsApp for God knows how long, and I've been annoying everybody on Discord with gifts for weeks. But before we go on to Nunes, I just want to say one thing, is Ward has taken a look at United, and he has just pissed all over their chips today.
Why?
Why? So it's brilliant.
Just because of Darwin, you mean? Just because of this signing?
Yeah, because they were just United fans were convinced he was going. You know, Saeed in UP, I was listening earlier. You know, even the Benfica physios thought he was going to United, and we've come in. He slapped his balls on the table and said, "No, we're taking him." I'm pissed all over their chips.
You know, you used a famous line from Dave Hendrick there. That Dave Hendrick once said on a pod when we got Luis Suarez that, you know, and I don't know if anyone can remember this if you're listening for that long, but when we bought Suarez, he was kind of going back in the time, because obviously we bought him way before the pod started, but he goes, it's like that day when Damien Comoli walked into that Ajax office, smacked his balls on the table and said, give me fucking Luis Suarez. And they had to hand him over. You just reminded me of that. But that was a famous line from around 8 years ago, dude. It's a long time we've been doing this now. Long time. So yeah.
And is this not the most exciting part of this all? I said last night with Nina, she's recording an end of season show. This to me is the most excited I've been since the early 90s, and and Eddie might be able to help with this as well. Like, I wonder if this is what it felt like being a United fan when Fergie was at his peak, because we just feel imperious. Ignore City and their oil money and their financial doping. We just feel like we are fucking massive. Like, we were on for a quadruple. We've just signed one of the biggest names of the season, and he just looks so goddamn suited to what was missing in so many of our games this year. That extra level of physicality and playing off the shoulder, and you said it yourself, like Dzeko and Mo, what a combo. Like Mo having another physical presence in front of him. Protecting him and making space. Like Jota and Diaz love a back post goal. So if you've got Diaz, you've got this humongous, like Zlatan-esque, and I'm talking like Ajax, Juventus before he got full of himself, Zlatan, but Zlatan-esque striker at the front post. Defenders will be drawn to them, and those guys will just be tapping goals in. If those two don't get 15 back post goals each of the season, I will be gutted. Like, it's such an exciting prospect. Everything about the way he plays, but also what he's going to give everybody around him. Like I was joking about Bobby earlier, but Bobby playing off of him with his no-look passes and his trying to get back into the Brazil squad. Thiago's delivery, Trent, Robbo.
Well, this is it. Trent just put. Did you see the Trent tweet, everybody?
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
Welcome, Darwin. How may I assist you? I mean, it's just superb.
That was almost as good as your Christmas pun. Almost.
I know. Almost. No, it was miles better. Trent saying that. You know, when it comes from Trent now, Trent's up is God level now for me at Liverpool. He's the high. He's at the top tier. He's the future as well, and he's, you know, when he's welcoming you, that's a proper welcome. We know where Trent's going. The trajectory is towards a Steven Gerrard era level, whatever, even surpassing, because he's already won the Premier League. You know, stuff like that. So getting welcomed by the man, is you know, he's the guy who's going to captain the club in the future. We know this. So
also, like, we're at a point now where if we don't have Trent on the pitch, Costa's crossing was great this year. We know if Robbo gets back to his
oh my God, Costas and Darwin, Jesus Christ! Now you're talking, dude.
And like Bobby in pre-season was getting great goals from Costas where he was crossing the ball, and they weren't even headers; they were volleys, they were headers, they were everything. Like Costas can really whip the ball in, and Joe, does my head in when Dave slags off Joe's crossing. Joe Gomez can't cross the ball. He proved it when he crossed it to Jota, and Jota was like, "Score that for you." I told you my words. Like, we've got so many players who can.
Yeah, but he has the odd game where literally every cross is beautiful, and then he has the odd game where no crosses are good at all. That's the problem with Joe. It's very hit and miss, mate. He can cross. Look, the boy. You've seen the video where he takes 5 free kicks in a row, nails them all? We've seen it. Joe's got quality in his feet. He just needs time on the pitch now. But I mean, what I like about Darwin, you just reminded me. And, you know, there's the Torres reminders, of course, you know, and obviously Alvaro on the AI Pro Plus pod told us he thinks he's a mix of Cavani and Suarez, and he might be a mix of them. What he reminded me most when I looked at his goals or watched his goals is Torres. But what I like about him is shooting from anywhere. You know those wonder goals from outside the box or whatever. You watch some of the goals. He's not afraid, but he's got a proper leather of a shot on him, proper hard shots.
That's why I said Ibrahimovic, Gags.
Yeah,
like he's got that Torres thing of cutting in from the left, which Torres is phenomenal in, right? You know, he was getting between the left back and the left side centre half. Torres was just ridiculous. And Nunes looks like he has that in him. He's got that audacity that Zlatan has, right? The shot Ali saves on the first time volley on the bottom left corner. Like, there aren't many strikers who try that, especially against Alisson Becker, and he tried it. And he was close. He hit that with absolute authority. Like, if he just, like, having someone willing to do those things, that's what makes Suarez a hero, right? Some of the goals he scored against crap teams like Norwich were outrageous, but you've got to try them. And I think Nunes is going to try shooting from ridiculous angles, shooting from 20 yards, hitting first-time shots before defenders have a chance to react. And I love Mo. I think Mo's one of our all-time greats, but Mo doesn't hit things first time. And I think adding that into our front line is exciting. Plus, he has, I said it before, he's got that thing that Torres had. He looks like he's going to be able to get in behind defenders, whether he's cutting in from the left or playing off the shoulder of players. Like he looks like he has the potential to just be one of the all-time exciting forwards to watch. Yeah, his passing needs to work on, and he hasn't had to do any pressing yet, but we know Klopp can teach pressing to anybody. It's just so exciting. Like, I am Torres level excited, and I haven't, after the way he left, I haven't been this excited about a player ever. Even my Bobby love isn't his level, isn't my Torres. And I think Nunes and me, it just, maybe he's that Batistuta-esque thing that we have all wanted and needed for years. And it takes the pressure off Mo. Mo doesn't have to worry about trying to win a game because there's someone else who can help him.
Yeah, he's had that. He's had that with Mane and with Bobby and with Jota and Diaz.
But Mane has his purple streaks and he has his cold streaks, right? With someone like Nunes, it's not necessarily the fact he might score the winner. It's the fact that defenders have to deal with him.
Yeah, that's true. The physicality is going to be unreal, is what everybody keeps saying. The people that have watched him all his career are saying that's the one thing you're going to get: effort and physicality. Never give up. That one thing that on the Benfica pod that Cristiano said about everybody was upfield and he was sprinting back, and literally, he didn't get the ball, but he was the only. He'd run past all of the team. He's that quick. And he had that much desire to get back to save the chance that, that's just shows you the desire of a player, very Mo-esque. Got another one like that in the team. It's going to be nuts. Imagine if it's like a break and it's Mo and Darwin running back. as your left, your right back and your centre back. But yeah, this is what could happen. So, like I said, Anfield faithful is going to love him. He's going to work like that.
We haven't had elite pace in a 6-foot+ player since Torres, right? We've had it in Mo, we've had it in Mane. We've had Van Dijk, but he's a centre half. Like, we've got the elite pace and that mentality that he will just have a go, and it's going to scare defenders. And the second someone gives him an inch, he'll take a mile. And if he doesn't get the ball, suddenly there's a nice big hole for Diaz and Jota and Mo to play with. Brilliant. So excited. And he's definitely banging on a hat-trick against United.
Imagine the shit if that happens. That would be bloody terrible. But
maybe he'll beat Robbie's 4-minute hat-trick.
Mate, stop. Now we're getting too carried away. No one's beating that. Well, they have, I think, already. But yeah. We're going to call it a day there, Steve. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you coming on and appreciate everybody else joining in as well. Cal, Lisa, JC, Eddie, and yourself. It's been great. I hope you enjoyed some reaction to the new signing and the few side conversations we had there, but it was all fun. Like everybody's been saying on the show as well, make sure you jump in and join the Discord. It's going to be great. It's growing. It's a lot of fun, especially the subscriber area. So if you're an AI Pro subscriber, how can you not be in Discord? You are missing out massively. Ask all the other subscribers, they'll tell you. AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. More coming on Discord as well. But yes, thank you all for joining in. And we'll be back very soon. The content doesn't stop. I'm sure it'll keep going. There'll be lots more coming this week. And those review shows are still coming as well. Lots of guests lined up to review the season. I'm sure we might even get some Darwin content in there as well at some point. But we'll see you soon. Up the Reds.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.